Hello, I'm Sean Demuth, and I'm making kombucha. I already have starters, and I've already done the time-consuming process over here. I boiled water in these Pyrex non-metallic thingamajiggers, and I've already steeped my tea. It's just green tea. Took the staples out of it and bound them with rubber band. My hands are clean. You need to make sure you have clean hands. And I always like to just put it right up against there like this. Hold the pot. Get all those juices out. Squish it. And yeah, this is only steeped for 15 minutes. Go to compost. I'm only brewing 2 gallons tonight. Whole process will take 2 weeks. But once it's in the jar and in the cabinet, I don't do anything. I just wait. Kind of like, I like the things where you just wait. All the work's in the beginning and you walk away. Which is why I garden the way I garden. But that's for another video. Anywho, these are ready to go. Yeah. My kombucha. You had a little hat. So pretty. So, this is what it looks like. Finished process. It looks like something out of an alien movie. Yeah. Kind of creepy looking. Oh, look at that thing go. Just fell. So anywho. SCOBY. It's an acronym. Quite literally. And yeah, right there. You can smell it. It smells like kombucha. It's so yummy. Anywho. SCOBY is an acronym. Symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast. That is a SCOBY. And people refer to the SCOBY when they're talking about it, they're talking about this cool thing. Get a shot of that with you. A friend of mine who just started doing her own kombucha, I asked her if it made a SCOBY. And she said, yeah. And I said, does it look like this gross whitish thing on top? And she said, yeah, it looks like snot. I thought that was funny. So anywho, where did I put that? Oh, it's up here. So here's the part that you can do if you want to, or you don't have to. I'm going to save the new SCOBY. This guy right here. Notice that, yes, I am touching it, but my hands are clean. If your hands are not clean, don't touch it. Plain and simple. And do you have to save this? No, you don't have to. I do just because I know for sure it's going to brew. But honestly, every time I didn't save the SCOBY, it made no difference. So, and a friend of mine, Paul Gauchi, he's the Back to Eden gardener. When I went to go see him this summer, I talked to him about the SCOBY mushroom. He said, honestly, you don't need it. He never uses it. He says he feeds it to his chickens every time. And he's got a bunch of chickens. And you guys can look at my videos someday with those. Okay, so here's the fun part. I get to dump this into containers. Oh, this is the time when you would want to put fruit in a container if you're wanting to do a second brew, or a second fermentation, I mean. And you burp them every single day. These should be at the end of their process. We got raspberries in there. And we'll know. So I just burped it. Something you heard that, psst, but I'm going to go a little further. Okay. See, it's fizzing like crazy and wanting to explode on me. This is done. If it starts shooting at the sides, it's done. See if this one is. Oh my god. Oh, it's everywhere. Okay, this one's done too. It goes in the fridge. So tomorrow we can enjoy these, and these taste amazing. I don't know a word for it. They taste like champagne, except good. So I've never had good champagne. Have you ever had good champagne?
In a mimosa form.
Yeah. So those are done. This part. So I transfer it. And here, you can transfer it to a giant jug, like this. I don't think we ever found a new cork for this, did we?
No.
You need to find a big cork to fit that.
Or if you have smaller mason jars, like these, but you would not want to put metal tops on them. You'd have to find a different way to seal them.
You could put metal on it as long as the metal never touches your kombucha, but I'm just not going to. So instead, we're going to fill the little guys. Little guys. I got a bunch of them. So people see me drinking these and they think I bought these. Well, I did initially, but I kept the bottles. And I want you to know something that's very interesting. One bottle of this at Dillon's is $5. To brew 2 gallons of this cost me about $5. This is 1 pint. You can do the math. The only reason I transfer it to this is it's a lot easier to pour this into things. And if you do not have steady hands, do not attempt this part.
Get somebody to hold a funnel. That's what I usually do.
And anybody who knows me very well knows that I don't have steady hands. Well, that is past tense. I have hypoglycemia. And my hypoglycemia is pretty darn bad. There's been times where I have passed out, stopped breathing, and my heart has even stopped. And I drink at least one of these, if not 2, every single day. And I eat pretty much entirely out of my garden. And my hypoglycemia is gone. How cool is that? Oh, another really cool thing for you guys. I suffer from depression. I don't openly talk about this. I'm going to talk about it right now. You're all getting to hear this now. I suffer from depression. My depression is about as bad as it can get. To the level where, should be medicated and go and see a counselor and all that jazz. That stopped in July. I have almost no cases of any of that being a problem after July. There's only one change I have made since July. I drink kombucha every day now. Before July, never touched this stuff. So kombucha could indirectly save your life if you suffer from depression. But it does also regulate all your other hormonal problems. Andrew, if you want to talk about any of the things that have been solved for you, go right ahead.
I struggle with, I've always had awful acne. I have asthma and allergies that are awful. I was on allergy shots for 4 years and finally quit them in May because I was sick and tired of it. I was getting sympathy pains every time a couple days before I would go. And I would be awfully sick for about a week after the shot and then would finally feel amazing, and then until about 2 days before I would go again. And I just noticed it wasn't, I mean, it helped a little bit at first, but it wasn't this miraculous cure. It wasn't worth it for me. And so
Slightly expensive.
it's slightly expensive, even with insurance. And so I just decided to stop. I was at the point where it was safe for me to stop. But that was also a decision that I talked to my doctor about. And a couple weeks later, after drinking kombucha every day, we went to a moldy pile of mulch. And mold is one of my worst allergies that I have. And I had no problems. I was digging in that moldy mulch, filling up our truck for our garden, and having no issues with it.
It was windy that day.
It was really windy that day.
And there was actually a moment where the part that was really moldy fluffed up into the air and just went all over into her face. It was funny watching her because she's like, "Blah! Ah!" And eventually she could breathe because, it wasn't pure mold in the air. And then she went right back to scooping up wood chips. And I was like, yeah, she's fixed. No more problems.
Serious hormone imbalances. I've had ovarian cysts ever since I started having hormone development in my body. Along with hormonal imbalances came anxiety for me.
Can I pause you?
Yes.
I'm at a different state here. So I like to leave the gross, junky stuff. It's not junky. It just looks gross. And honestly, if you ever see what you're drinking, it might gross you out. So this stuff, that's all the floaties and fun things, I like to put this in my new brew. So the next brew needs a cup. So when I'm empty on this thing, that's when I dump it. And voila, there's a cup. I got a cup. So that'll sit in, oh no, sorry. So now that I got a cup, pour that in my bowl with my SCOBY. And they can just be happy together, floating along, SCOBYing up. And then the rest of this, floaties and all, well, go into here.
That's why I usually give to you to drink out of the dark brown glasses.
Oh, do I have any more? Yeah.
Because then you don't see the floaties.
But I don't mind, because I am not weak-hearted. Now, do we need to clean this at this time? No, but I do. And
Just
I don't
rinse
clean
it.
with soap. I just rinse it out. Now this is important. I just use tap water. Tap water has chlorine in it, so get as much of that water out as you can. Okay. That's a smart little thing. Label the date you should harvest it. That's very smart. If you're doing 1 gallon every 2 weeks, there's no need to really label it, because how hard is it to remember one date? I'm brewing 8 gallons every single 2 weeks. That can be daunting. So I've learned that if something's hard, you are doing it wrong. That's actually how I teach music.
Work smarter, not harder.
Well, if it's hard, in my opinion, with music, if it's hard teaching wrong, I really don't want those. Here. What's a little bit more kombucha in the starter?
Ugh.
They look funny. Hey, it's a fruit fly. Okay, you guys go over here. And so this is ready for the new batch. You probably don't want to watch me do a whole nother gallon, so I'll just do this one now. So this one is pretty well. Really get this water out. Usually I let this sit a little longer, but it'll be fine. All right, 11.4 plus 14. Will my pen work today? So this will be 18. I can math. 4 plus 14 is 18.
Yes.
Yeah. I can math. So this brew will be done on the 18th. Oh wait, but today's not the 4th, is it?
Today's the 5th.
19. Gotta change that.
We were supposed to harvest it yesterday.
I went a day over. Will the kombucha die and the world end? Yes, the whole world will end. But
If they're not drinking it.
The kombucha won't die though, but the world might end. I don't know when the world will end. Someday. Hopefully not tomorrow. Okay, here's the part everybody wants to see. Getting this into here. This is a fun little task.
Because these are shaped.
They
Really?
don't pour well. So I want you to make sure you're really getting this. I have to set it in a very strange way. It looks like I'm going to dump it all over my pants, but I'm really not. See how I'm setting it on the jar? And you want to hold very well, very firm. You want to start pouring it. You don't want to pour it too slow or too fast. And it will trail down and out. And you will see I will stop when the trail changes its mood. I don't know, just the way it pours will change. And as soon as it changes that, you want to immediately stop, and I'll show you the next part there. So here's too slow. Yeah, it's getting everywhere, so I'm going to go a little faster. About that speed. Notice I'm not making a mess. How crazy is that? Nobody taught me to do this. I figured it out on my own. And right there, it started doing something weird. So if you continue going, you will have a mess on your hands. So from that point, I now pour it normal, but quicker. Ta-da! Done. And it's too hot to put your kombucha in, your starter. So I was really smart about this, and I've done this many times. I made a mark. Instead of
Measuring out.
measuring this guy out multiple times, I just put a mark on there. And so really what this is
How many cups is this?
it 2 quarts?
Yes, 2 quarts of
Yeah,
water.
2 quarts of water. So I don't like measuring it. That takes time. So now I just fill it to the mark. And then I add everything else at the end. A little more. Slightly over. Kombucha will fail now. It's pretty hardy stuff. I have never failed a brew. Not once. So if you mess up somewhere, you'll probably still brew kombucha. It's pretty powerful stuff.
It kind of just brews itself.
Yeah, important thing, do not use metal anywhere. You have metal rings on your hands. You're married and you have a metal ring, please take it off. If you can't take it off, put some gloves on. Just don't want the metal particles into the kombucha. It won't, well, I shouldn't say won't. It doesn't like that environment. So just, yeah, don't do that, my 3Ds. I didn't invent the 3Ds. That was somebody else. But anyway, this part you don't have to do. This is the expensive part. I get raw apple cider vinegar, the unfiltered with mother still in it. I like to do this just because it ensures the acidic environment for the kombucha to work. And I put a cup in. And since I just put a bunch of water in, and this was in the fridge, this is now going to be 90 degrees or less. You want your starter area, this stuff, to be about body temperature to room temperature, and 90 degrees it will be. I could, here, I'll prove it to you. Because apparently everybody doesn't believe what they're told. They have to be shown. So, all right, it is, oh, even less. It's 78. Easy. Oh, you didn't see that. 78.
The lighting. Oh, there you go. Kind of see it. Okay, good.
Cool. Cool. Stick, wood, spoon. This is the part where people make a mess when they don't know what they're doing. So I just like to pick up this part here. Again, do I need this? No. I'm gonna put it anyway. Put that guy in there. Falls on its side, sinks to the bottom. The world will end. Your kombucha will be fine. And this is the starter stuff. Dump it in. Where's my thingy? There it is. Put a cloth over it. Why do we need the cloth? So dust and bugs and grease and grime and gopher guts don't get inside of it. You hold on to your jar when you pull on this, because you just might have a really strong rubber band and your kombucha brew just goes flying. I would cry. I think that would make me cry. It happened to me. Yeah. This part takes a little bit of experience getting it on, but if you have somebody there helping you, like a daughter, brother, son, mother, person, somebody, say, hold. Ta-da! We're done. So this will be the 19th. That's what that says. Very legible writing there.
Sure.
Glad I'm only, 2 weeks. I'm going to look at, what does that say? Is that the 17th? Oh my gosh. Okay, cool. So I have these cabinets with nothing in them. Oh, look at that. Cool. So I can just take this and go, boom. Don't want it in the sunlight. Sunlight, the UV rays will kill your microcultures and all that stuff.
They're like vampires.
Yeah, I could sit here and list all the health benefits of kombucha. There's a lot.
Just go look
research
it up.
It's everywhere. It's the first thing you look up. Done. I got 1 more gallon to do tonight. I don't think you're going to watch me do the exact same process twice. So, cheerio. Have a good night. Bye-bye.